This is a show about the American entrepreneur, the dreamers, the believers, the achievers. We discover those making a better life for others through a better business. That's what it means to be in Multiview's good company. It's the companies that you never heard of that are always the most interesting. And here in Portland, Oregon, no one sums this up better than Owl brand Discovery Kits. A company with only one product, but endless amounts of fun.
They are just mesmerized with these bones. It's like they've just found the greatest creation ever inside these pellets.
Barn owl pellet dissection is a unique hands-on approach to science education. My name is Chris Anderson. I run a small business called Owl brand Discovery Kits. Our one product is sterilized barn owl pellets.
After a barn owl eats its prey, the fur and bones, which aren't digestible, are expelled back out the owl's mouth in the form of a pellet.
We're truly trying to promote cognitive thinking. We want people to think critically and independently, and sometimes it's as simple as introducing a lab where you're taking your two hands and you're putting them into the mix.
The interaction with these kids with owl pellets is just, you just gotta watch it.
You'd be very surprised how much one of these students will dive into the pellet and take interest in science maybe for the first time. There are kids who live in the cities that don't even understand that milk comes from a cow. They're just so disconnected from nature. And when I think about the future of what we want to accomplish with this company, it's really reconnecting young people with nature.
Chris realized that you can't always bring kids to nature, so he figured, why not bring nature to kids? It was in the kitchen of their own home that Owl brand first took flight. Chris and his wife Liz had to use their oven to sterilize the pellets.
My dad came to stay one time, and he was a little bit grossed out by the whole thing. To me, if you're going to heat something up and cook it, you're going to kill anything that's there, so it's not going to transfer into your food.
You do what you have to do in order to follow through and carry out a vision. We're just very grateful that it moved out of the kitchen and into a shop.
Even though Owl brand found a replacement oven and moved to the garage, Liz still wasn't too sure of where the business was heading.
Picking up owl pellets was not my idea of like a very profitable or reasonable way to make a living. Chris got really excited about it and saw the long-term view, not just a pick up a pellet, sell a pellet idea. It was like, well, maybe we can take this a step further.
Because owl pellets is all that we do, we really had the opportunity to take table scraps from these larger companies and turn them into a viable company. When Owl brand first started out, we were excited to do $300 a month. But every year we noticed we were doubling our volume. Right now, we average between $15,000 and $20,000 a month just on the retail side.
In order to keep up with such a high demand, OBDK must find and collect over 10,000 pellets a month. But with only 2 barn owls per square mile, collection is a daunting task.
When we're looking for barn owl pellets, you grid out an area or a region, and sometimes we use Google Maps to look down on areas, and you're looking for structures that might be a home to barn owls.
Barn owls are most commonly found in the western United States, residing in silos, barns, and abandoned houses. A big challenge, though, is that many of these structures reside on private property.
I would never go pelleting on my own. And I don't think I'd even go up to the door and ask somebody if I could go in their barn. That's just not in me.
Chris, on the other hand, has never met a stranger.
I'm Chris Anderson. Nice to meet you. Oh, it's a beautiful area, and anywhere's beautiful on a sunny day, right? Well, do you know about owl pellets? Have you heard of them before?
My dad's a people person. He knows what to say, when to say it, and how to say it.
Once on the property, the search for the pellets begins.
It's not a guarantee that you're going to find product. You have to cover a lot of ground and go into maybe 20 or 30 structures in a day to pay for your expenses.
Looking for pellets over such vast areas is incredibly time-consuming, so Chris hires local collectors like Ruth and Miles Henry to augment his supply.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
On an average, we put in about 100 miles a day, sometimes more. Talking to people, getting them interested in this is half the fun for me.
After the pellets are collected, they're delivered to Owl Brand and processed.
The first step in that processing involves literally a handshake and a thank you to a collector who they're getting the product from.
When the pellets are brought in, we dump them out and we look at them, make sure that they're good.
Owl pellets vary in size, but the best ones are uniformly cylindrical. Any damp pellets are placed on drying racks to remove excess moisture. When ready, all of the pellets are wrapped in foil, sorted by size, and sterilized in an oven for an undisclosed time and temperature. This family secret is closely guarded.
The foil helps it maintain its shape. It also centralizes the heat so that it sterilizes properly.
Once the pellets are ready, they are packaged and shipped.
We really strive to treat every customer as an individual, and because we only have a short list of products and we have a manageable number of customers, we're able to accomplish that.
While Chris prides himself on the quality and customer service of Owl Brand, it's not the most important part of his business.
I think that any job as a parent involves trying to teach certain values to our children.
We were able to provide them the opportunity to earn the money to do things rather than provide the money for them.
We're going to give you the opportunity to learn something. We're going to give you the opportunity to earn something. And our kids have really taken that to heart. Simple things like paying their own cell phone bills, paying for their own car insurance are now possible because we're interested in producing model citizens. We're not interested in producing people who are dependent on anybody but themselves for their solutions.
Working with my dad definitely has its struggles because there are times when I don't know whether to be an employee or a son, but it's definitely a good experience because I think working with your dad is probably the hardest thing to do. So in the future, when I'm working for somebody else, it'll be difficult, but I'll have a little more experience from working with my father.
From the many lessons Owen has learned through working with his father, there's one that OBDK stresses above all: love thy neighbor.
It's always been about people. And whether it's the customer or the people picking up the pellets or the people wrapping the pellets, it's always been about the relationship with people.
This company, I think, just really does exemplify going back to the basics.
We're not just building a client or a customer base, we're building a community. We want to treat them like family. We want them to know that we care about their experience with our company. And it's not enough that they just buy a product from us. We want them to feel like they're part of the company.
Starting a business is no easy task. It takes a little heart and a lot of dedication. But Chris and his family have never been afraid of hard work, even when it takes being a night owl. It's this relentless drive and care for others that moves us toward the next good company.